What's up, YouTube? Today I am going to be showing you how to convert your Epson EcoTank ET-4800 into a sublimation printer. So the first thing I am going to show you is the sublimation ink that I purchased from Amazon. It is called Haipu. So you do need sublimation ink. The colors are going to be in black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. All right, and so my sublimation ink did come with these syringes as well as these needles. So I am going to show you how to attach those together. Now, you will need to wear gloves in order to protect your skin. You're going to take the syringe and insert it into the top of that needle where the pink part is, and then remove the clear cap. Please ignore the fact that I am shaking. I am trying so very hard to make sure I am doing all of this correct and not make a huge mess. All right. So here is the needle. And don't worry, it is not a sharp needle. The hole is just big enough to go ahead and get that ink into the syringe. So I did go ahead and remove my caps so that I could remove the foil that was on top of it, and also so that I could get that needle and syringe down into that bottle deep enough so as to not create any air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles in your syringe. All right, so once you have that foil removed, you're going to take your needle, insert it into the bottle, be very careful, and then you're going to pull up on the top of your syringe insert. Now, when removing the syringe from the bottle, be careful that there is none dripping. I also flipped mine upside down until I got over to my tank. So you see here I have the caps already open. You're going to take that needle, and this is where you will insert. Make sure you are inserting the correct color into the correct portion of that tank. And then you'll see here down at the bottom that as I am pushing down on the top of my syringe, it is indeed filling up in my tank. All right, so I'm going to do the rest off of the camera, and then I'll come back when that is complete. All right, so as you can see, I have my ink inside of my tank. We're going to close that. Now, my printer is currently plugged in, however, it is off. So I'm going to gently lift up on this, and then we're going to power it on. All right, and then once we power the printer on, it is going to start with a list of settings. So we are going to be selecting our language, as well as our month, day, year, format, and time. Now right here is asking if I want to use an app for setup. I do not, so I selected no. You can if you would like. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the settings. You want to pay very close attention to your screen and what it says at the bottom, because the symbols coordinate with a certain action. So you want to make sure you're looking at that so you know which symbol to press. Now I am out of frame here, but there is a keypad. There we go. And so that is what I'm using to insert. All right, and as I continue to do that, I do also want to inform you guys that at the end of this video, you want to go ahead and head over to Epson.com so that you can download any updates and firmware that your printer requires. So you won't see me do that on the camera, but that is the last thing that you will do after your printer initialization is complete. All right. right, so do keep that in mind. All right, so here you will see it is preparing. It only takes about 20 to 30 seconds for that to happen. But the next screen is going to have a message that is basically referring you to the manual that came with the printer. Now, what it says is see the start here bundled with printer or on the website to complete. What it wants you to do is press and hold the question mark symbol for 5 seconds. And if you read your user manual, you will see that that is what this screen means. So once we press and hold it for 5 seconds, it's going to ask us to confirm that the ink tank is filled with ink. So you want to make sure you fill that tank with ink prior to turning your printer on. So we're going to go ahead and press start. And this process does indeed take 11 minutes. So I will come back once that is complete. All right. So we are done with the initialization. Now it is asking me if I want to adjust. I do. I don't want to wait until later. I'm going to do it all now on the camera. So as you can see, I'm heading to the back of my printer. We're going to pull up that gray piece and then open those blue sliders. This is where you are going to insert your paper. Now, you can use copy paper to test. However, when you are printing your sublimation designs, you want to make sure that you are printing on sublimation paper. I got a sub 8.5 by 11, 125 grams, and I did get this paper from Amazon as well. So again, when you're printing your designs that you are going to be using for your sublimation art, you definitely want to use sublimation paper. However, if you're just running tests, it is okay to use standard copy paper. All right. So once you get that paper in, you want to go ahead and head back to the front of your printer. And then down at the bottom, you are going to see that you can go ahead and pull out your paper tray. All right, so before I print, I want to pull out my paper tray and then just pop open that little piece to hold the paper so that it doesn't fall over onto the floor. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. And then I am going to print. Now, this may be the hardest part of the process. However, I'm going to try to explain it so that you guys are clear about what it is asking when these pages print out. So the first page is going to be lines. They are going to be lines and they are colored, different colors. So it wants you to look at those lines and to determine if any segments are missing. For mine, there were 2 segments missing on the yellow. You can't see it on camera, but I was able to see it. So I'm going to go back to the printer where it's asking me if there are any missing segments, and I am going to select yes. All right. Then it's going to ask me if I want to clean my print head. Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way now. All right, so that process is going to take about 3 minutes. and then I will come back when it is complete. All right, so this is the next paper that came out. So it is numbered 1 through 7. So for each line, line 1, line 2, line 3, so forth and so on, what your printer is asking you is to select which number on each line has the least amount of lines. So you will coordinate those answers here on your screen. So for line 6, for mine, number 4 had the least amount of lines. Then this is the next paper that will print out. And this one is asking you if any of these images are spaced out or overlapped. They looked pretty good to me. So I selected all of the ones that looked great. All right. And once you're done, the print head alignment is complete. Now, I won't be setting up any fax or scan, but I do want to remind you, you want to go to Epson.com, select the support tab, select printer, type in the name of your printer, and then from the drop-down menu, you want to select your operating system and download the firmware and software.